Today's lesson's 5.5, linear inequalities in two variables. This section is going to be strictly a graph section. So it's not going to be notes in your notebooks. I'm going to hand out graph paper, but what we're going to do first is we're going to graph y is greater than negative 2x plus 3. For graphing y is greater than negative 2x plus 3. First thing we're going to look at is just graphing it like normal, like it was a typical y equals. So we're going to act like this says y equals negative 2x plus 3. How do I start to graph this? I start dead center at 0, and I move up 3. That is because of the plus 3. That's my y-intercept. This negative 2 means what, really? Negative 2 over 1. What's this negative 2 called? It's called my slope. So I go down 2. Which way's over? To the right 1. So just like normal, it's down because it's negative. If it was up, it'd be positive. What we did in classes, we always did up and down is the positive negative, and we always move to the right. But sometimes you can't move to the right, so you do just always up and then left and right. Don't draw a line through here. This is where things are different. Thinking about this piece. Right there. The greater than symbol. If I were to graph something on a number line, would my circle be opened or closed? Why would it be open? It's not equal to. Since it's not equal to, I am not going to have a solid line. I'm going to have a dotted line. So you draw a dotted line through those points. Now, after we've decided dotted or solid, looking back at the greater than symbol, if I was thinking about greater than, where would the greater numbers be? Above the line or below the line? Above. So what I'm going to do is shade everything above this line. Because the answer is y is greater than negative 2x plus 3. What this means, if I picked any number, let me just pick this point right here. Right here, I'm picking this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I put 5 in, what do I get as an answer? I think that's a 5. If I put 5 in for x, what's negative 2 times 5? Negative 10 plus 3 is negative 7. So I have negative 7. What's my y value here? It's 2 greater than negative 7. Yes, it works. Anything that's in this shaded region will work. If I took this red point and put it over here, I'll put 0, 0. 0 times this is 0, so I have 0 greater than 3. Is 0 greater than 3? No, it doesn't work. And that's why it's not shaded. Anything that's shaded will work. Here's this one. I have y is less than 3x plus 1. In the next quadrant over, try this problem. Where do I start on this problem? Start up 1. I start up 1 because of this plus 1. Why do I go up 3? The slope is 3, and the slope really means 3 over 1. if you think of what slope means rise over run. From this point, I must rise 3. 1, 2, 3. I must run 1. I only have my 2 points. Now this is when I look at that inequality symbol. Would it be a dotted line or a solid line? Why would it be a dotted line? Because it's not equal. If it had this line underneath, then it'd be a solid line. So it's going to be a dotted line. Now it says less than. Where would the numbers be less than? Above the line or below the line? Below the line. And that's your answer. I know some of you are probably thinking, well, left and right. He shaded to the left, he shaded to the right. I'm never going to say left and right. I'm always going to say shade above and shade below. You got to think, if you're greater than, you shade above the line. If you're less than, you shade below the line. That means anything in this shaded region would work. I'm going to flip back and just look at this one real quick. If this was someone's job, and you wanted to make at least $50, let me see what the next one says. If I wanted to make at least, is that less than or greater than? At least. You want more than, that 50 is the lowest you can have, right? So if I flip this around and make this a greater than, my shading is now going to go over here. That means anything in this shaded region will work. So if I got paid $3 an hour, and I got paid, they gave me $1 just for showing up. Anything in this shaded region will get me more than what I need. You got to think, if we're talking about equations, this line would have got me with the amount of money I wanted. It'll get me exactly what I wanted. That line is the exact answer. But anything in the shaded region will get me more. That's what it means. Or if we were selling things, and we had things that were less. We only had 100 candy bars to sell. What's the most you can ever sell? 100. And all of these here are possibilities. Here's this one. What's wrong with this one? It's not in order. It needs rearranged. So rearrange it first. What do I have to do first? Can't divide by 3 yet. Add 2x over. So I'm going to move this 2x from this side to the other side. Negative 3y is less than 2x plus 3. I move the negative 2x to the other side. Now what do I need to do? Divide by negative 3. Y is negative 2/3 x minus 1. Y is greater than. My question to you is, why did I change that less than to a greater than? When I multiply or divide by negative, the symbol flips. This is old school stuff coming back now. It's the little tiny things. It's the rearranging, and remember, if I ever multiply or divide by negative, I flip the symbol. Now my graph. I'm going to change this problem just a tad. Nope. I just put a line underneath. Because they happen to be the same. How do I start this one? Start down 1. Down 2. Over to the right 3. Now I changed it. What type of line should we have? Solid. Why? Because it's equal to, now my line will be solid. Solid line. Greater than, does that shade above it or below it? Above it. So I'm going to shade above. Now, you don't have to go color crazy and color every little square in. If you want to, go right ahead. Negative 2/3. I started down 1 because that was my y-intercept. So I go down 2 because that's my rise, and I run to the right 3. Shading doesn't have to be perfect, but by looking at this, I can tell it's shaded above. Some people remember how to go through a fraction problem. Some people are a little fuzzy. It doesn't matter if I have whole numbers or decimals or fractions. What does it have to end up looking like? Y equals mx plus b. So I need to move this 1 to the other side, and I need to move the negative 3/2 x to the other side. Well, I could just move that one. That's a good point. I could move both of these, or I could just move this one. Why move 2 when I could just move 1? It's a good point. Negative 3/2 x minus 1 is less than 5/4 y. How do I get rid of something being multiplied by a fraction? Multiplied by the reciprocal. I heard a couple people say I need to multiply by 4 and then divide by 5. It's the same thing. Multiply by 4 over 5, multiply by 4 over 5, multiply by 4 over 5. Everything has to be multiplied by. A lot of people forget to multiply the negative 1. I can try to cross simplify. 2 goes into 4 twice. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. 1 times 5 is 5. If you didn't want to cross simplify, 3 times 4 is 12. 2 times 5 is 10. 12 over 10 is 6/5. Negative 1 times 4/5 is negative 4/5. I don't like it the way it's written, so I'm going to take the entire problem and flip it. When I flip it, y greater than negative 6/5 x minus 4/5. You take the entire problem and flip it because y has to be greater than, this y has to be greater than everything else. I'm just rearranging it so it looks better. This is my y-intercept, negative 4/5. How do I graph negative 4/5? It's not down 4 over 5. What's down and over mean? That's slope. That's not a slope. That last one it's just a number. What's 4/5 mean? As a decimal, it's 0.8. 0.8 falls in between 0 and 1. So it's just down a little bit. And that's one of the things that messes people up. Fractions on the end, you just worry about the number. It's the number that's attached to the x that tells me the up and over. I need to go which way now? Down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice I'm still in between lines. I lost track. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my second one. Is my line solid or dotted? Why is it dotted? It is not equal to, so it will be a dotted line. I am not looking for perfect straight lines. When I look at these to grade, I'm going to look for, is this point correct? Is this point correct? Do you have the dotted line? And now it's looking at the shading. Where should my shading go? Above the line. Why? Y is greater than, so it has to be greater than the line. So that would be my fourth point. Any questions? Yeah. No, please just put a scribble. You don't have to color in every square. Just put a scribble. I need to be able to tell where it's at. The next section, we're going to work with arrows. Oh, there's one other thing. What type of line is Y? Just Y and a number? Y is always 3. Means it is a horizontal line. This is a horizontal line that goes through 3. It's dotted and it's shaded below. If its x is greater than 3, it would be up and down through 3. Now this one, greater than. Greater than would be to the right.